Jerrold Kerber, 3rd Marine Division, 26th Marines. I got out as an E4. I was in Nam for 22 months. Back from 67 through 68 into 69. It's quite an adventure. Me and my cousin, best friends all through high school. And my brother, my oldest brother, became a Marine in 62. Yes. He went to Nam and came back, and me and Tom, we were kind of gonna scare him, you know. He come down the basement, me and Tom's all hiding, and we jumped out and he had a cup of coffee in his hand. Didn't spill a drop. We said, we're gonna become Marines. I was always like the strongest guy in my high school. Even when I was a freshman, I could take down the seniors in arm wrestling. But they pulled me out of the line and said that I had a heart murmur. Anything with your heart, you can't hold us responsible. But if you get shot or blown up, then we'll take responsibility. I got over Nam in early part of 68. And I was there, landed in Da Nang. I was at Phu Bai for a while. I'm a 2143, which is a Ontos mechanic. It's a miniaturized tank, and it's got 6 106 cannons. They call them recoilless rifles, but they're cannons above. It's only like 7 feet tall, runs on gas, 318 Chrysler engine. It holds 18 rounds of ammo underneath the back doors. You open up the back doors and you got your driver sitting up there that has a hatch, real thick glass, but you can see most of those are always empty. And on the top between the 2 cannons, or 6 cannons, was an M60 machine gun. So it was a pretty bad thing. Wasn't good in Nam because all the rice paddies, it couldn't ford water like the tanks could, but it was great for perimeter protection and ambushes, stuff like that. It was good. A main thing is Ontos is supposed to be Greek for giant killer. They ended up sending me up to Quezon. They said, Quezon needs an Ontos mechanic. And so I went up there because the last one got killed. So I don't know, Quezon was one of the biggest battles. I missed the battle, but I got there for the after effects. So over there for Tet of 68, which was, supposed to celebrate Christmas, everything's quiet, and they just waited for us to let our guard down. Hellfire. Ended up getting a military driver's license while I was over Nam. Before I went to Quezon, I was at Phu Bai, and they said I had my military driver's license. So they put me in a small pickup truck kind of thing, I forget what it was called. But I'd have to leave our base at Phu Bai and drive 10 miles into Da Nang before daylight. And somebody always had to ride shotgun with me. And that's 10 miles in hostile country. And I'd go deep into Da Nang and pick up 2 female interpreters to take interpretation when we caught our prisoners. And they'd get in the back of my Jeep then, and we'd camouflage over them and get back. And then they'd work all day at interviewing female prisoners and this and that. And have to take them back after sundown. So still got to go back in town. And it was, of course, like I said, we're young and we're crazy. could have got ambushed at any time, but you just don't think about it. You just don't. I was the listening post for a couple months, which meant me and another guy, after dark, we'd have to go out 300 yards in front of our bunkers out in no man's land and just sit there and be quiet. We'd change positions every night and listen for anything. And if we heard something, we'd get on our cranking up, Gadfly X-ray, rah, this is Gadfly X-ray, come in. I imagine I was scared, but too stupid to realize it. I mean, there's been so many close calls with mortars and rockets. We couldn't fire unless we were fired upon. That could be one shot too late. As me and Tom, I turned down a permanent deferment from all the services because of my heart murmur. So I wanted to go. They were going to keep me out. Tom joined with me. He wasn't drafted or anything. I know my brother, when he did get back, and me and Tom both asked him, well, would you do it again? He says, if he had to do over again, he wouldn't do it. But he would take $1 million for the experience. But if somebody asked me that now, I would. I mean, I'm too old now, but sure, give me a M50 and I'll go right Jeep. I would go back if it came to that. I mean, we're Americans. We're going to do our duty, defend our country. But then, after the past 20 years or 40 years, you hear all this political stuff, why we were there and why we got out. And so I still don't understand it, the politicians part of it. But it was wild, it was wild. It was some crazy times. I've been home from Nam since '69. We went to the 24th celebration down in Pima, and it was pretty good. I was enjoying the company and eating pie and hot dogs, and then the lights went out, which everything just went black. And all of a sudden, I could see it. And I just about had to get out and go under the bleachers. And that has really gotten a little worse over the years because just the flashbacks. I mean, these people are all enjoying it and oohing and ahhing, but over there, it meant there was a battle going on. They're trying to spot people or spot whatever's going on. It's kind of crazy. I have congestive heart disease. I got about 18 inches of stents in my legs. I go to the VA for my eyes, and then I started getting letters from the VA saying that Agent Orange and could be the cause of that. And so I get like 45% since about 10 years, which a little bit, it helps a lot. And then with my heart, and now that I've got leukemia, they boosted me up to 100. 3rd Battalion, 26th Marines. I got a Marine Vietnam Presidential Unit Citation, so that's a whole unit. Combat action, good conduct, national defense, and Vietnam service. All in all, being a veteran, I'm proud that I served, and I served honorably.